It's Thursday, really early in the morning. We are at John F. Kennedy International Airport, Terminal 5. We are going to the Penny Arcade Expo. We should be in Seattle just in time for lunch with Scott, at least in Seattle time. And today, in this video, you are going to witness firsthand 4 separate miracles. That's right, real miracles. 4 of them. I don't know if there's ever been that many in a YouTube video before. But get ready, it's going to be exciting. So the first miracle is the miracle of flight. I was in a giant metal tube, so heavy you couldn't even imagine lifting it. Right? I mean, it's not as big, there are bigger metal tubes that also fly, but it's still big enough. Yet somehow, under its own power, filled with people, filled with stuff, this thing goes up into the air like a bird, thousands of feet into the air, right? This hasn't been done for a long time. I mean, we've only had, large jets for less than 100 years maybe, right? I mean, the Great Caesar didn't fly. I think the first president to fly was Teddy Roosevelt. Abraham Lincoln didn't fly. Flying's a big deal. People take it for granted. They just sort of get on, go to sleep, and get off. But I take the window seat, and I do not take the miracle of flight lightly. Not only are we in the sky, thousands of feet up in the air, inside a metal tube, not touching anything, right, other than air, but on my phone, which isn't touching anything, it's not physically connected to anything, I can connect to a Wi-Fi access point in the plane, which is then somehow connecting to the internet, and I can be connected to the internet. I can Google things, read Wikipedia. I have access to all human knowledge that has been written down, almost all human knowledge ever, while I'm in the sky on a very tiny phone. Another thing people take for granted, yet is clearly on the level of miracle. Some people think is just a copy of the first miracle, right? But no, the first miracle is the fact that we are flying. The third miracle is the fact that we are going fast, over 500 miles an hour. I was in New York this morning, and now I'm in Seattle. That is ridiculous. Like, not that long ago, less than 200 years ago, right? You know the game Oregon Trail? That's, you think it's silly, died of dysentery and whatnot, but that was real. People would take their whole families in a wagon pulled by animals, right? They didn't have any other means of conveyance before trains. And they would go from the East Coast to the West Coast. And it took months, if not over a year, maybe even years. And it was ridiculously dangerous and difficult. And they had to go over mountains. Land was in the way, right? They had to go up and down mountains. They actually, had to go over rivers, caulking and fording and ferrying, and people did this, right? It was the only way to get over to Oregon, Seattle, California from the East Coast. right? Was to take this trail. Yet, me, in less than a day, in less than the time that I work in a single day, I woke up at my house, I went over, I got in the magic metal tube, and now I'm here. And that is miracle number 3. And the fourth and final miracle, perhaps the greatest of all 4 miracles seen here today, is delicious sticky rice wrapped in a bamboo leaf. Oh. Mmm.